You know what? We liked him. He was his authentic self. So was Jason Kelce, segue. He decided that he was going to announce his retirement. And, when I saw the setup for the press conference, and he comes in, national TV, ESPN, I think, broke into programming, and he's got a sleeveless green shirt on, like he's been lifting weights, and he's got a gold watch. Like, I can't imagine him leaving the house that morning and his wife going, wait, you're going to announce your retirement looking like that? Oh, you know what? I'll put on a gold watch then. And he goes in there. It's as if he was just working out. And he came right from the weight room, sat down, and said this.
So this all brings us here to today, where I announce that I am retiring. Where I announce I am retiring from the NFL after 13 seasons with the Philadelphia Eagles. And today, I must admit, I am officially overrated. Vastly overrated.
Okay. He's a Hall of Famer. And I think he probably realized, let's jump now as opposed to wait another year. Let's ride your brother's success, his popularity, your podcast, and you're going to have a lot of opportunities in the media. CBS may blow up their pregame show and bring in someone like that, put him in there with Nate Burleson. He's got this opportunity to be able to pick where he wants to go. And he can still do his podcast with his brother. Boy, Travis better stay with Taylor Swift, because once that relationship, if it goes south, so does that podcast. I have to believe that a lot of Taylor Swift fans are listening to that podcast to make it the number one podcast. But he does have value. It's rare when an offensive lineman, let alone a center, becomes a household name. He was in People magazine's Sexiest Men Alive. His brother co-hosted Saturday Night Live. He won a Super Bowl. He's going to be a Hall of Famer. And I think he realized, as you find with a lot of these guys, I'll go back to Nate Burleson volunteered to work the draft for ESPN Radio. He just wanted to see what it was like. And maybe he was 24, 25 years of age. Paulie and Seton were there. And Nate paid his own way to the draft. Wasn't asking for any money. His teammate in Minnesota, Corey Chavis, was the all-pro and wanted to get into the media. And he was working for ESPN back then and getting paid. But Nate realized, we don't care who you are and what you've accomplished. You got to put in some time. And Nate was a good receiver. But he wasn't a household name by any means. But you see him now, and he's so charismatic, and he's so good. He had a plan. It's like Michael Strahan. Strahan, defensive lineman, with a big gap in his teeth, but he was always available. Came from a small school, but you realized that he had a lot of personality there. So much so, hey, Fox's pregame show, no, let's take it up another notch or two. How about co-hosting Good Morning America? Nate Burleson. Let me volunteer. Let me do a couple of things. Hey, now I'm on NFL Today, CBS. Oh, they want me to host the CBS morning show. Co-host that with Gayle King. I mean, it doesn't happen that way. But those two saw the opportunity, and they weren't household names, but they became household names. Jason Kelce has that opportunity, and it's better to go a year early than a year late. Tiki Barber did this. He tried to do this, and Tiki wasn't ready for it. Boomer Esiason did this. He was ready for this. Eli Manning could have played another year. He decided that it was time to go. And it's tricky because you want to play. You're programmed to play. You don't want to walk away. But then you have to think about the rest of your life. Nate Burleson and Michael Strahan are set up the rest of their life because they left a year early. Or 2 years earlier. Because if you don't, somebody else takes that job, maybe they become a star. Maybe you never get that opportunity. And maybe you're going to see that as far as, pregame show with Jason Kelce. Because you already have J.J. Watt on there. So now you're getting a different perspective than just, hey, let me have a bunch of quarterbacks up here or a coach. Now you're getting an offensive lineman, a defensive lineman. And then if you put Nate Burleson in there, former wide receiver. Now it gets a little bit more interesting. We tend to focus on the quarterback and everything they have to say. Sometimes that lineman tells you things that, the nuances of the game. or a defensive lineman. And that's what makes it entertaining. But Jason Kelce will have his opportunity. He also had this to say at his press conference.
Thank you, Philadelphia. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for letting me represent this city and allowing me into your homes every Sunday. It has truly been a privilege. You have all been so good to me and my family. Growing up in Cleveland, I watched all of my favorite athletes leave the city. Hell, a whole team left the city. It has always been a goal of mine to play my whole career in one city. And I couldn't have dreamt a better one and a better fit if I tried.
That guy will never have to buy a beer in Philadelphia the rest of his life. That's for sure. And then he had this to say, maybe a little too much information, where he was talking about rumor of his teammate Nick Foles.
I won't forget Nick Foles having the game of his life on the biggest stage possible. And the biggest dick on the team going up to Doug Peterson and asking for the Philly special. And Doug Peterson having the biggest balls in the stadium to say, yeah, let's do it.
Wait, you can't get emotional when you're talking about some guy's anatomy. I'm sorry. I guess you can, but...
You're doing Dice Clay jokes, and then you start bawling.
Yeah, you can't go, and the guy had the biggest...
He pulled his pants down.
And then...
I'll just never forget how big he was.
I only wish I could be like that. I mean, excuse me.
Well, it was called the Philly special.
Give me a second. Just give me a second.
It's a hoagie.
I think it was hoagie.
The guy's got a hoagie.
A Philly cheesesteak.
It was good TV, though.
It was, but I'm going, wait, he just got emotional talking about Nick Foles' anatomy.
I mean, not to mention, I don't know how gutsy it was to make the call anyway. The Patriots had just tried to play like 5 minutes earlier. I don't know that it really took all that big a gigantic twig and berries to be like, hey, want to try the thing the Patriots just tried 5 minutes ago? Okay, yeah, let's go do that. Where did they ever come up with such a crazy idea?
Yeah. Yes, Marvin?
Do you think it's the names of these plays that make them seem more original than they actually are? Like the brotherly shove is just really the QB sneak.
Yeah, but I like the name.
No, I know, but it makes it seem more original than what it actually is. The Philly special, just like Seton said, the Patriots literally tried the same play previously. So it's the names.
And the weird part, it was called the Philly special with the Patriots. That's the weird
Tom
part.
had the most gigantic I'd ever seen asking Bill for that.
Yes.
You need a nickname, Marv, like the Miracle at the Meadowlands. If it's a Miracle at FedEx Field, it doesn't flow. You can't have sponsors like the Miracle. You got to have hype. Those phrases.
How about
work.
triple double? Like triple double became something, because it's a triple double. Therefore, you messed around and got a triple double. That meant you had. By the way, Ice Cube keeping track of his stats on the playground. Come on.
Wait.
He had such a good day.
Someone had to.
No one had a better day than him.
I know, but he said he messed around and had a triple double.
Like he wasn't even trying. He was like the Joker. Get me on the court and I'm trouble. Yeah. Last week, messed around and got, look, I wasn't even trying.
I was just messing around. And
just
I got
messing around.
Double. That's how good
Just
I am.
imagine if we didn't come up with the name triple double, he would have had a hard time with that lyric.
Yeah. Get me on the court and I'm trouble. Last week, I did really well.
Yes, Tom.
And the Lakers
week
beat
I
the
was a
now
team
defunct-
player.
The Lakers now beat the Supersonics. That was pretty good, even though it dates the song a little bit now that they no longer exist. But that's a all-around good day for him.
All right. Well, thank you, John.
Welcome.